Dogs' ages, right, has a big thing to do with their mentality, mindset, what you can and what you cannot do. Um, as a dog communicator, human educator, that's my title. I like to educate people on like dog ages. A lot of people say, well, hey, can you train my puppy? Or is the puppy fully trained? There's no such thing. A puppy has a long life ahead of them. When I say puppy, I mean anywhere between 4 weeks to 15 weeks, 18 weeks, 20 weeks. These puppies can obtain information through consistency. They do have the mindset to say, hey, I know what's next, but to apply to their everyday life and not rewarding them is hard to do. Why? Because as a little bitty puppy, they're just now exploring um, their senses. They can smell for the first time, and they're really attracted to things that they don't know about. So they're collecting data that they have to be that they're really interested in. What else? You have what they can feel, right, through the sense of touch, what they see, um, and what they hear, and then what they taste, right? So these things are fairly new to a dog. Now, when gets older and they didn't witness a few of these things, and they're pretty much comfortable with what things are, and when they get attracted to them, you know, you can teach a young dog. You hear I say young dog, you can teach them to basically behave and stuff because they're not missing out on anything, or they've learned just enough. So no such thing as a fully trained puppy. When people say fully trained, the misconception is supposed to be, I don't care how old a dog is, you're going to give that dog rewards. You have to. Now I would say that my dog, he is about to be 5 years old on the 15th of this month. Um, and I would say that he still requires rewards, but just because of the repetition that I've been able to lay down with him on a regular basis, he doesn't need rewards every so often. This is what you consider. What I will say is that dogs need consistency, right? No matter what age the dog is, the dog needs consistency. Without consistency, you don't have nothing. You cannot lay down a proper track, what I would say. So the dogs that I like to train, age range is always in between 5 months of age and, well, let's say 6 months of age to about 8 or 9. Why? Because these young dogs, even if they have problems, the problems aren't strong enough for the dog to really feel like that's what dictates his survival and comfort. And if you haven't ordered my book, Survival and Comfort, it's on Amazon, or you can look up my name, Calvin Wilman. But my whole survival and comfort is like the way that they live life. So a young dog that might have a discomfort level that's anywhere between the ages of 6 months to 8 months, 9 months. The only reason why it may be disobedient or defiant when it comes to like how they behave when people are either grabbing them or how they go about people is because they're trying to figure life out. And if they get uncomfortable, then what happens? They act out, and they learn that that worked. So even at this age, when I get a dog that may have a strong belief in like, hey, you get to grabbing on me, I'm gonna bite you. Even at that age, I can correct and redirect that behavior really fast. At a dog that age. Now, if the dog was 1, 2, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on up, it'll be really hard. Why? Because that dog has learned that you win some and you lose some. You don't want to run into that dog. They said that you win some and you lose some. Oh, then now you got a fight on your hands. and you don't want that, right? So it's very important to make sure that you're at such a young age that you're giving this dog the exposure it needs when it comes to being physically handled by people, grabbing on his collar, grabbing their feet, just anything that the dog may run into. Because if you don't, then you create a habit, and it could be a bad habit. Um, Dogs at 6, 7, 8, 9 months of age, you teach them something, and like I say, it promotes survival and it promotes their comfort through obedience. Then, boom, now you got a situation on your hands to where the dog is a little bit more influential. You can influence this dog to, keep this behavior up, because at this age, the puppy or young dog is just like the dog wants to be right. The dog is thriving at being successful at living. So at this point, they're really in tune. You can work with them, but therefore, I mean, you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, then as time go by, whatever dictates and whatever direction their survival and comfort goes, um, they will form new and different behaviors. So you got to realize that if you're promoting survival and comfort through training, then and you're consistent, then you can keep that dog on the path. If you take that dog off of that path and they're witnessing their survival and comfort comes from somewhere else, or different behaviors, and you slack, then no go. So always remember that the ages plays a big part in it, but the ultimate goal is proper training with the consistency. And like I said, if you got a puppy within weeks of age, do not rely on that puppy to learn